Good morning. Welcome to another episode. My name is Dedra. This is Kristi, and we are the Circle of Alchemy Sisters. We have a first live guest today. This morning, we have Katie. We will insert a picture of her. The camera is not going to pick up her face very well, so we'll insert a picture in the video so you can see who we're talking to.
Yes, and I am Kristi, and I'm so excited because Katie is my best friend of over 20 years. I think we're at like 23 years we've been best friends. So I'm really excited. She is going on this beautiful ascension journey and experiencing all the horribly wonderful things that we all go through. So welcome to the show, Katie. I'm so excited.
Hi, thank you. I'm excited too, but now I just don't want to talk. I'm just going to sit here and be quiet.
That is not how this works.
Yeah, I know. I'll get into the swing of it.
Okay, so we did have some predetermined topics before we came in, and other than that, we're just going to kind of free ball it, right?
All right. So we have generational curse breakers and what that means, and then past life karma brought in from those your past lives and how we experience it today, and in our journey.
Okay. So in order for me to bring the channel forward, I'm gonna need somebody to form some kind of question.
Okay. So what is the different types of generational curse breakers, and what is their purpose?
Okay. So when you come into this human life, pre-programmed, right, are all of the things that say your higher self, your ancestors came into their lives trying to stop. It's like my higher self has been going through this one thing over and over and over and over again, life through life through life through life, and I simply have not mastered it yet, right? So that's one type of generational curse, right? That's bringing forward energy that I did not solve in a past life. But we also have that ancestral generational curse that our family, our physical family, blood family that we have when we incarnate into this body, the ancestral curses that are withheld in that blood. Right? So whether it be adultery, whether it be sexual abuse, whether it be physical abuse, whether it be alcoholism, right? The physical body that you are born into, the bloodline, it carries things with you into this generation. So us lovely people here incarnated on this earth, not only are we trying to eliminate all the energetic things that we've brought forward from life after life after life. We not only have those, but now we're also curing our family, our blood, our lineage. So there's a lot of pressure being a human right now at this human existence, because we have so many things that we are literally trying to heal and trying to stop so that we can move forward into this new energy that's here on earth. Because remember, that's the only reason we're here. Like, if you're drawn to this podcast, if you're, one of my friends, you're a starseed, whatever, you're not here to just live a regular human life. You're not here for just earth school. You're here to create a different frequency and a different vibration on this earth. Do we have any questions up until now? Does anybody have anything?
I would like to know how, a normal human being would figure out that it's a generational curse and not just something that's popped up in this life.
Okay. Look at your family lineage. Look, right? If you're an alcoholic and you look in your family lineage and say, my dad was an alcoholic, my grandpa was an alcoholic, my uncles were an alcoholic. If it goes down into your family, that's your first sign that you are a generational curse breaker and you are here to break the curses, right? Other things are like things that you repeat in a cycle in your life, okay? These would be past life curses that you're here to break. So the cycles that you repeat in your life, meaning like I always fall in love with people who don't realize my worth. I always fall in love with narcissists. I always I don't know. There's so many things, right? You have to recognize the patterns that happen from a very young age. Like, look at your first crush. What was the first crush you ever had? Is he a drug addict now? Is he a narcissist? Is he an alcoholic? Like, you have literally been choosing these karmatic cycles since you were placed on this earth. And it is for you to like wake up and be like, okay, you know, like a lot of us have celebrity crushes, right? When we're children. Like, who is your celebrity crush and what has he been through in his life? That might tell us some of the generational curses that we're meant to bring forward.
Can you have many different ones that you're trying to break at the same time? Like, for example, narcissistic relationships, financial poverty, like poverty relationships, or life, like grew up in poverty and, you know, continuing that cycle. So you can have many different curses going on at one time.
Girl, it just depends on how good you handled your last life. Like, let's say in your last life, you got so overwhelmed and you were like, fuck it, boom, kill myself, right? Now you have double, triple, quadruple things that you have to bring into your last life because I allowed myself to succumb to the things that got me into this life, right? Like all these things got me here to this life and I have to face them and I have to eliminate them in order for me to continue into my next life. So if you, let's say, like off yourself in this life, takes one of your exits, your next life, you got more shit that you got to take care of. Wow. All the same circumstances all over again.
Well, that sucks.
Until you get it.
Until you get it. Yeah. Because okay, so they're showing me like once you enter into an earth contract, right? Once you say, okay, I'm going to incarnate on earth and I want to do this, 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 and this, right? It's like God don't let you out. God's saying, okay, like you want to learn these things? Now you're stuck here in this earth cycle until you figure them out. And yeah, you can take a break, right? But once your soul is rested, you got to put your big boy pants on and you got to go right back down to earth and learn all the things. So when you enter into this earth contract, now remember, earth is one of the hardest places to live. It's very hard to live here. It's very low dimensional. There's a lot of polarity, right? Black and white, dark and light. It's a very, very hard place to live, right? But the divine says, you made this deal with yourself. You said that this is what you wanted to learn. And I love you so much that I'm not going to enable you by letting you quit. So you're going to repeat life on earth until you have solved all of these things that you want to solve. I'll give you a break. I'll let you rest in the heavens for 10, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years, whenever you're ready to go back. But you're going back. And you still got to deal with all of this stuff that you said you wanted to deal with. So, God or the divine source, they love you so much that they do not enable you one single little bit. Yeah, it's a hard thing. It's a very hard thing. And there's so many things that we have to learn and there's so many skills that we have to develop, but the key, the trick is to not get stuck in them. Like, it's very overwhelming knowing that I have to deal with all of this shit that I didn't deal with in my last life. And I get, like, overwhelmed. And I'm like, why couldn't you have just dealt with this in your last life? Why are you leaving it up to me? Like, why do I have to do this, right? But instead, I'm saying, like, no, I came here to do this. And this is the life that I'm going to do it in, right? I am going to be successful. I am here for a reason. I am here for this earth ascension. And I haven't gotten the chance to clear up my past lives in, say, 1,000 years. And this is the year, this is the time, this is the incarnation that I'm going to do it.
That's strong.
Dedra, I love sitting across from you and watching all the facial expressions you make because you're like, ugh.
I'm doing this most of the time. No, I just figured that out earlier, like at some point there.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on that subject? Any questions? Any insights?
I want to know, like, are you bringing, like, your past lives and the things that you've gone through and haven't learned beforehand, you know, in your previous lives, are you like in a contract with the same exact souls, or are they just different with the same traits?
Oh, that's a great question. So some of us trust the souls that we're in contract with so much that we will sign another deal with them. Like me and you, we played really good together. I might not have figured it out, but if we play together the same way we did in that last life, I really have faith that I'm going to get through it this time. Other times you're like, okay, so this contract didn't work out. So I'm going to involve another soul, but I'm going to do the same situation because I think this soul will work better, you know, because in the ethers, before we come down, it's our friends and it's our family and it's our loved ones, our trusted ones that we've been incarnating with for eons that we're living this life. So at this point, we're professionals at certain things. Like, you're really good at doing this when you come down to the earth life. So I want you to enter into a contract with me at this age where I'm at this energetic level, and then we can push each other into the next level. Now, sometimes it doesn't always work out. Sometimes that person can't hold up their end of the contract because they're not aware. You may be holding up your end of the contract, right? But they're not holding up their end of the contract, which means you're just, we just covered this in the last episode or that we released, is like you're enabling them. You're not allowing their soul to move forward by staying in a contract that is not serving you anymore. You're enabling them. You're allowing them to repeat the same things over and over and over and over again and not get anywhere. But I love them. Well, love them enough to let them go so that they can go on their journey and they can discover what they came here to do, because this contract is not serving you anymore. You came here to fly. You came here to do this. You came here to do that, right? And if I don't let myself out of this contract that isn't going anywhere, that person's not going to be able to evolve, and I'm not going to be able to evolve to do what I came here to do.
Okay. That's awesome. Follow that. Can your contract ever like you fulfill the need for that contract, and so in your next life you don't have to mess with those souls anymore, or do you just keep re-signing different types of contracts to learn other things?
Okay, ask me again. I'm sorry. I looked at myself on camera and got lost.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. I got distracted. Okay.
Kristi, pay attention.
Squirrel.
Okay. Can your contracts be fulfilled, or like you fulfill the need for that contract so your next life you do not have to work with those souls anymore, or do you continue just redoing different contracts with them and for different reasons?
Wait a minute. That's two different questions, so I have to take the first one first.
Okay.
Stop after the first one.
Can your contract ever end with a soul?
Yeah.
It was a two-parter question.
Yeah, but okay. So you're saying, like, when I finish a contract with this person, do I go into the same contract in the next life with the same person?
Or do you just do another contract? Like, do you keep replaying different lives with these same people?
Yes. Yeah, because they're the people that you trust the most. You know, they're the souls that you've evolved with the most. You can pick and choose. Like, it's almost like I gave this soul a chance to, and also we're working for other people. We're in contract with other people to help them right? But they're in contract to help us. So you can say, like, in our last life, I don't think that we worked well together. I don't think that we were able to fulfill either one of our contracts. So in this physical life, I'm choosing not to have a contract with you. Maybe after we evolve, we'll try again in another life. Right? Everything is always free will. You are never sold to one soul forever. You get to pick and choose what souls you work with, what contracts you want to. It's like a business plan. Before you come down to earth, you create this business plan and you're saying, at this age, if I'm at this ascended level, if I'm awakened at this time, if I'm not awakened at this time, like there's so many contracts. If you're at a certain level, then in comes this person for this contract. If you're not at that level, here comes another contract to push you into that level. So there's many, many, many different kinds of contracts and many different kinds of souls, and you have the free will to pick and choose who you want to work with and what contracts you want to.
How does that play out up there with our higher selves? I mean, do we know every soul that we work with? How does that come into negotiations? Like, how do souls come and decide, hey, I want to work with you on this thing here? Like, how does that happen up there?
I don't know how it actually happens because I know what they show me relatable to like human life. Okay, so relatable to human life, the thing that I can bring forward the most is that, like, you're literally at a board table, you're sitting at a board meeting and all these souls are sitting around and you're talking about, everybody's incarnating. It's time. All of us in this round, we're all incarnating soon, right? So let's get together and let's see what kind of contracts we can move and what kind of relationships we want to be in. Like, if there's like a group of people, a group of souls, and they're all incarnating on the earth together. So they're saying, let's meet up. Let's go for coffee. Let's have a relationship. Let's have a fling. Like, let's do this. Let me crush your soul. Like, I'm really good at that, you know? Like, it's a board meeting. They all get together and they all discuss what they're good at, what they did really good in their last life, what they want to live in this life, and then they volunteer and say, hey, I'm really good at this and you're really good at this. Let's have a contract together and see if it benefits us, you know? Some people you've never worked with before, you know? Like, some people it's like, hey, we've never worked together, but let's do it. Like, I watched you in your last life, because again, as souls, we get to just watch and do whatever we want, you know? Like, my higher self can come watch you when you're sleeping. I'm a higher self. I get to do whatever the hell I want, right? As there are certain boundaries that you're not allowed to cross, and I don't know what those boundaries are, but we get to be involved in our humans, our higher selves, our friends' higher selves. They get to be involved in the human life as well.
Okay, great.
Kind of sad you don't know what boundaries those are. When the minute you said it, and then you were like, and then you took it away.
Okay, well, if you ask, you have to put it into the form of a question.
Okay, so do I just say,
yes,
what boundaries can you not cross as your higher self?
What boundaries are not allowed to be, okay, so it's up to the higher self. It's up to the other higher self. Like, what are my boundaries? I will not allow you to come in when I'm doing this. I will not allow you to come in when I'm doing this. My human needs this time alone, you know? Like, because again, like, every time you think, let's say you think of me, right? Out of nowhere, that's my higher self coming to visit you. Bing, Kristi's in your mind, right? So there's certain parts and pieces where the higher self is like, no, my human's doing really good right now, so don't go visit them. You know, there's boundaries that are all set up. Again, part of the construction of the 3D life. Like, the rules and boundaries are set before we even come down here. So not very often do you get to change like major rules, right? Like, because you're like, I came here to do this very specific thing, so I can adjust this one tiny little thing, but big things, they gotta stay where they are. Okay. Stay in place.
So you're saying, like, every time a random thought of a person comes up in your mind, that person is thinking about you or visiting you?
their higher self in some form is, yes, visiting you. And if you don't feel comfortable with that anymore, you need to break the contract.
Why
Break
would they be visiting?
it.
Like for example, if an ex fling that you had,
Checking on you.
why? What would be the purpose?
It's also okay. Okay, so there's. I love when Dedra asks questions because I can tell she's asking like, oh, why is this happening to me?
I got that right off the bat. That was very specific.
So a lot of it is also telecommunication, human to human, right? So if you have a connection with someone, now in the spiritual realm, we have learned that sharing energy, body fluids, whatever you want to call it, creates a rope, creates a connection, you know? So if you don't break that connection, if you don't eliminate that cord or that energy from you, some of us don't even remember that we're carrying that cord. Like a one night stand 20 years ago, like I didn't even know that there was a cord I had to cut. But if you're thinking about that person, there's probably a cord you need to cut, right? Because they're now existing in your energy system. You didn't let them process through. You forgot about it. So you just left that cord right there. So do some cord cutting. You could eliminate, like, you don't have to go like soul by soul by soul. You could do like a general sort of cord cutting. Like, I cut cords to all of those whom I shared intimacy with when I was at my lowest, when I was in a low vibration, you know, and that would kind of eliminate more of those energies in your life.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
I think you should explain how to do a cord cutting. Lots of people don't know how to do
I
it.
think that you should explain how to do a cord cutting because you're the one who taught me.
Oh. Okay. Well, I only know how to do it though. Like you've done it. I think that you've done once. I've seen it before with like candles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get two candles.
Mm-hmm.
One represents you. One represents the person that you use to cut the cord. So, when I was attuned to Reiki, the Reiki master who did it went through and had me feel how my body was. And I had a very strong cord with my current partner's ex-wife. She's very volatile, very toxic, and I did not want to. Like, I was just getting so angry about everything that she was doing. And everything was affecting me, like, on a personal level, when it had really nothing to do with me, and it was driving me insane. Like, I was thinking about it over and over and over again, you know, and I was just getting madder and madder and madder. So when she had me go through and feel how my body was, I could feel something on my right side, like on my rib cage, and she was the one who told me it's a female. And I was like, I knew it! I knew it! And she literally had me visualize. I pictured it as like this white light, like glittery, because I like shiny things, I guess. I don't know. And she had me physically pulling it out of myself with my hands, just imagining this energy that was not serving a purpose in my life and was actually making me a pretty miserable person most of the time. Very angry, very jealous, very envious of, I have no idea what, but it was. And I just pictured myself pulling it out, and I felt the release of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
So yeah, after you taught me that, I think I passed it on to you as well. But after you taught me that, I literally did. I did that because I'm like, I kept telling you, like, dude, I've done all these cord cuttings and candles. Like, I've done it like 6 times. And you said, like, maybe you should try this. And what I did for me, I could feel where it was. Like, I could feel when I tuned into it and asked, like, show me where this is. I could feel where it was. And mine was literally in my gut. I could just feel it just sitting there, you know? And what I did is I pictured it as like, I know this sounds really gross, but it was like a worm, like a tapeworm, like a snake, right? And I could see its tail just sticking out of my skin in my mind. And I just grabbed that tail and I just kind of started pulling and pulling and pulling. And then eventually it just like got, and I'm getting goosebumps everywhere, but it just kept getting bigger and longer. And I just kept pulling and pulling and pulling until all of a sudden I was like, oh, and at that moment I felt empty, right? I felt empty and I felt sad and I wanted to cry. So I cried and I released all that. And I think it took me like all day. But when I woke up the next morning, it was like, oh, like, thank God for Katie, dude. She's a magic bitch because she just got rid of this giant pain in my ass, gut, that I had. And that is the best way to do cord cuttings. Like, obviously you can do the candles and you release them into the universe with the words and the things that you're saying, but if it's a deep cord, like, you gotta like, you know, you gotta pull it out, like, get it out of you. So Katie, you're a genius. That was like the best tip I've ever gotten.
that was a Wendy. Otherwise,
Yeah.
I would have never known how to do that.
Yeah, Wendy's an amazing teacher. Wendy knows a lot of stuff. So, Natural Collective in Sandwich, shout out to them, right?
Right. But yeah, so I feel like a lot of people don't understand that you can grab on, like, a cord can be made with anyone you come in contact with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the fact, like, I don't really know this woman very well. I only know her, like, through her children, you know, the interactions I've had with her. But I'm telling you, ever since I did that, nothing really bothers me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I can, like, if something does bother me, I just think about it and be like, I usually say to myself, not your path.
Mm-hmm.
And I just go on about my business. And I can tell you one thing, though, she doesn't like to be around me anymore. We have very little interaction with one another, and it's wonderful. And
It's
it was
wonderful.
very necessary. Well, yeah, it is, because literally, like, she's at a different level than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's very apparent.
Well, yeah, when people are living in their trauma, and this is a great example, she's obviously living in her trauma. You know, when we deal with things that are out of our control, you know, like when we go to the dark side of things and we get attached to things that are literally sucking the lives out of not only us but our children and our friends, and that's what you literally feel is like that empty hole, that black hole, you know, like she wants your energy, right? Because you're bright and you're beautiful, but the thing is, you're putting the work in. If she would put the work in, and I'm not picking on this woman, I don't know this woman, I'm just saying she because she's talking about she, you know, but this is for anyone, right? Like, you have to put the work in. You have to just come out of the darkness eventually. And I do understand, like, living, and I lived in darkness, you lived in darkness, you lived in darkness, we've all lived in darkness. But at some point you say, I don't want to live here anymore. This is not a place for me. It is not serving me anymore. It's served me up to this point. It's protected me. It's kept my ego safe, right? But I don't want to do this anymore. And then from that point on, you have to make different decisions. You cannot keep continuing to make the same decisions that got you in this dark place. You got to make the opposite decision, you know? So if you get up first thing and say, oh my God, what kind of fresh hell waits for me today, right? And that's how you greet the day. You have to instead greet the day with, yes, universe, what are you bringing forward for me today? Show me how good it can get, right? It's just little things like that. If you get up in the morning and smoke a cigarette and you're trying to quit smoking, break that pattern. Break it, right? Like, don't smoke a cigarette first thing in the morning. There is work that has to be put in if you want to be moving forward, you know? So, yeah.
It's called being self-aware. And the more self-aware you are, the more it's easier for you to do those things. Because if you're not
Yes,
Like,
dude. And we talk about self-awareness on this podcast and in all of my readings, like self-awareness. You have to be aware. You have to be aware that this is shit you're doing. You have to be. You know, otherwise nothing's going to change. You have to be aware that every time somebody challenges you, your ego rises up and you spout nasty, ugly things. Awareness. Next time someone challenges you, make the decision to take a deep breath and walk away instead of repeating the same pattern that you've been doing. Be aware. Absolutely. Yeah. Be aware that you're walking around your house in grump mode. Like, be aware that when you walk into the house or walk into somewhere, people spread away from you, right? Like, awareness. Pay attention to what's going on in your physical world. What happens when you display certain characteristics? What's going on around you? Be aware.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
Okay. 30 minutes. We're already 30 minutes in. We're doing it.
I actually feel like I'm just talking to friends. So
Yes. Yes.
I feel like this is our conversations on Sundays anyway.
Yeah. So me and Katie have weekly meetings on Sundays at usually 11 a.m. unless we're running late. And sometimes they last until like 2 in the afternoon. So yeah, but actually we started these calls because we wanted to do a podcast and we wanted to practice. And that was like a year ago. So I love that it's come full circle. We're doing a podcast.
I know. I love that you two started this and you got everything together and
It's crazy.
Amazing. Like, I have a hard time learning things just listening to people, like, like books on tape or whatever, the audiobooks. It's hard for me to retain that information. I need to actually physically see it. So watching you guys on your videos is cool.
Thank you.
Because I feel like I retain more from it than I would by just listening to you guys.
Absolutely. Being able, and that's why I love when I do readings. Like, yeah, I could do a reading like on the phone, on a call with someone, but I love face to face. Like, I love FaceTime readings or Facebook Messenger readings because I want to see your face and I want to connect with that beautiful energy. And as I'm speaking, I can feel like with your facial expressions, like how it's going and how you're feeling. So yeah, I absolutely understand like connecting on a deeper level when you're watching it take place instead of just listening to it on a radio station.
Yeah, well, like we talked about earlier with Dedra and sharing on that, your newest one, like, I don't feel like the emotion would have come through as much if I couldn't have seen your face. If I wasn't seeing your face and wasn't seeing you, discuss it and, open up about it, I feel like had I not seen it, I would have just been listening and been like, that sucks for her. But seeing you, I can actually feel, what you're going through because we've all been through that before, on some level. So.
Thank you.
And she's talking about the episode that we just released, I think, 3D, 5D relationships, growing in and out of them. And Dedra is always so beautiful and willing to share her personal experiences. Since the very first episode, you have been so willing to share your personal experiences. And I had been avoiding all of my personal experiences. And because you were so willing to just open up online and let everybody know what's going on in your personal life, it then encouraged me to be like, fuck it, let's do it, right? Like, we're here to help people. We're here to let people know that we all go through these weird, horrible, terrifying, beautiful, disastrous, wondrous things. And that's the whole reason we started this podcast, is to be able to connect on a deeper level to humanity and let them know, like, you're not alone. We're all going through this, all of us. So I want to thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's awesome. It's super brave, extremely brave, and I love it. Yeah.
It is very brave.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I am super proud of myself, and I'm proud of the women that I surround myself with. I am very blessed and fortunate to have a great soul team, a soul tribe. I didn't realize how much I was missing in my life until recently. Opening up and doing this podcast has really helped me to learn more about myself and about what I need in life. And even though I have my very human moments, I do know what I'm doing and I know why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So thank you.
That's awesome. That's great. It makes me giggle. Awesome.
Yeah, we need to send Dedra some good juju vibes. She's still going through it, you know, like it's hard, dude. The position that you're in is very hard, and I don't want to minimize it. Obviously, I'm a empowerment coach, so the only thing that I want to do is like empower you, right? But I feel like I don't want to rush you either, you know.
And I think that's important because there's no time limit on healing.
Yeah.
There's not a time frame. There is not a set limit of how long you have to heal your pain, because especially coming from an empath, a person who feels very deeply, it is really hard to release yourself and to heal that emotion. I have so much to heal. Like, I'm a generational curse breaker, which is why this topic today really resonated with me, and wanting to help other people wake up to things that may be going on in their life and what their purpose may be. So I am allowing myself to have the time I need to heal, but I am very human as well. And I have my moments to where I think that this sucks and I don't want to do it anymore. But it doesn't mean that I give into it.
We all have those moments. It's part of being human.
Yes, and then I get an ass whipping from Kristi.
I literally just yelled at her this morning. Quit fucking saying that.
She gets this weird look on her face, right? And then she like stares into your soul, and you're like this. Oh God, look at me.
Yes.
It's only been like I feel like there's a lot of pressure. There is a lot of pressure because I love the people that I'm surrounded by. I love my team, and seeing them just surrounded in this sadness is really it's hard, because this is what I do for a living, right? Like, I'm here to like help you discover who you really are, and I have to take into consideration not everybody is at the same healing place that I'm at. Like, maybe my situation was easier for me to get over than it is for you to get over, and I have to allow you to have that time.
Yeah, I feel like it's very, very, I feel like it's tough. I have a lot of great days, but then I have some days like yesterday that it was like a lot of purging and a lot of releasing, and memories, and it will just pop up, and, you know, I get sad music. Sometimes hearing a song that takes you back, you know, and then it'll make me sad. And so that happened right when I was picking you up, and
that was the energy I felt. I wish you would have just told me that. I heard a sad song. I would have been like,
and so I'm crying all the way to pick you up, and I'm like, because it just took me back, and I'm like, you know, it made me think, you know, I mean, I miss those times, but I know why my relationship ended. Like, I know why, and it's not that I want to go back, but I miss the good times, and that's okay, because I know, like I said, why the relationship ended. And I know that there is no going back. I can only go forward. I don't want to go back to what I had. I very much want to go forward with who I'm becoming and what's meant for me. So, but I have a process to go through. And we talked about these processes. And it's just going to take a little bit of time, because I didn't leave them when I hated them. I left them while I loved them.
That's the hardest part. That is really hard.
So
Leaving.
you're just grieving for what could have been right now.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And what was.
Yeah.
You know? Just 2 days ago, I had this conversation with my partner that we just removed ourselves, you know, like, I'm going through the same thing that you're going through. I'm just a few months ahead of you, right? And it was like, he's ready to just erase everything. I just want to erase everything so I don't see it, so I don't feel it, so I don't have to experience it anymore. And to me, it's like, dude, we can't erase all those beautiful things that we've experienced together. Like, you know, I didn't leave when I hated you. I left when I still loved you. And I do not want to erase all these beautiful life changing moments that we experienced. You know, he was wanting to, I'll just update you, Katie. He was wanting to remove pictures off of our Amazon, you know, like how it plays on your TV, Amazon Photos. And he was like, I feel like I need to take these off because they make me sad. And I had to tell him, like, no, like, those are beautiful moments. Don't let them make you sad. Like, be so grateful for them. And that's how we move forward. I'm grateful for these moments. I'm not sad because once I'm sad, I'm staying in that sad place. But I can look at these pictures and I can smile now because, like, those were wonderful, beautiful experiences that I have to just, like, keep within me forever. I'm not going to hold on to the bad ones. I'm going to hold on to the good ones. And they help you sort of get over that morning, you know, like, it's so sad. We're never going to do this again. No, it's so beautiful because I got to experience all of this stuff, you know. Right. And it is hard getting to that place. But it is the tiny little things in our minds that we have to change, you know, like it's so hard when we're stuck in this place of like, I'm sad and I'm mourning and I'm pissed off and this is not what I wanted to do. But every day we have to just have like maybe one tiny little glimmer of, okay, this beautiful thing happened. This beautiful, like every single day, even in your sadness, find one, just like one moment that we can like, oh my gosh, this was such a beautiful experience, and bring that energy up, and it'll help you process through that situation a little easier.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just not accepting it. That's what his thing is. He wants to just gloss right on over it and move on to the healing, but he's not doing the work.
You gotta do the work. You gotta do the work. You have to face your fears and you have to face your traumas, or nothing's going to change. It's just a cycle.
I think they get confused on how to get through their trauma, how to face their fears, and how to work through that and heal. I think that they put too much thought into it. And they overthink things, and they don't really understand what it is to truly heal. I mean, even I think I brought it up to you not too long ago. How do you know when you're healing something? Like, how do you heal? Is it thinking about the situation that comes to mind and then feeling that pain, and then like saying, I forgive myself, I forgive you, if that, you know, is appropriate, or rather it's just crying it out until it's no longer painful. Like, what is it to really heal?
Yeah, it's those things. It's all of those things. That's what my partner said to me. Like, I don't even know how to heal. Like, how do you heal? What do you do? And I'm like, all those things that keep you in that very small vibration, in that fear, those are the things we need to make friends with, right? Like, if you're insecure, then when those moments of insecurity come up, we need to be in tune with them and be aware of them and work through them, instead of doing what we normally do, which would be turn to some sort of substance, or turn to the scrolling, or run away in fear and anger. You know, it's facing the scary, yucky shit that we don't want to pretend exists within us. You know, like, I'm fine. That's just like who I am.
Suppression.
It's not who you have to be,
no.
you know?
No.
We were just talking about it the other day in regards to past abusive relationships we've had, that when you start having compassion towards that person, I mean, not like, you know, oh, I freaking love you, because that's never going to happen, but like, compassion and understanding of why they are the way they are. I think that's the end part of healing. That's how you know you've healed from it, because you feel those feelings instead of having all those nasty, icky
anger.
I hope you get run over by a train and, you know, your life is horrible.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that I don't feel that way, kind of.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but it's something when it's not
Yes.
Like,
And
especially the
you're
negative
right.
stuff.
Feeling that compassion for someone and understanding why they are the way they are really is the end goal, because then it's not so much hurt. You're like, because most of us are like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I just don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
But when you really look deep into it, like, now I understand. Like, I understand. Like, they didn't have support. They didn't have love. They experienced all of these bad things. So why would this person even know how to love me the right way? They've never been loved the right way. And that's the part of compassion that we need to get to, for sure. Understanding why these people who, quote unquote, really totally suck. Why do they suck? And why can I can still love them, even though, like, even the worst of abusers. Katie, you said, like, I'm not saying I love you, because that's never going to happen. But, like, I feel like once you get to that point where you actually, I do love them. I do love my abusers. I do, because I feel like, oh my God, how much darkness have you been through, to experience all of the things that you've experienced and then put them on me. And now you have to live with that forever, right? Like, they're not going to release all the yucky things that they've done to you. They remember it, and now that tortures them every single day. So if I can get to a point where I say, I love you, I have compassion for you, but I literally never want to see you again, that's like not only releasing us, but also sort of releasing them from the things. And that's ultimate healing and ultimate forgiveness, and that's hard.
That's beautiful. I'm so glad you said that, because that I know now that I have healed from my past traumatic relationships. Yeah.
Because you're at a
know.
place where you love them.
Yeah, I do. And you're right. I don't ever want to, like, open that door to ever hear from them or see them again. But I can love them from afar and want the best for them and hope that they find the happiness or, whatever it is, peace in life. But I don't want to open that door to communication with them.
No.
I would just rather love
the damage has been done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm only 90% healed because I'm not there. I'm like, but you go ahead and do whatever you need to do.
Yeah. It takes time.
Yeah.
You're almost there. There.
I feel like also too, when I think about it, like, I used to have such nasty, negative anger and everything else. Now I just don't really feel anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just kind of like, thank you for the lessons you taught me. I'm moving on. Moved on.
Yeah. You can also gauge your healing by, no matter how many times you've told the story, let's say you always get angry or you always cry, and then eventually one day you told a story and you're like, shit, I didn't even feel nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful, because that was a lot of pain. I mean, like, this man tried to kill me. I don't know how many times, like, literally tried to kill me. And now it's like, I don't even feel anything when I say that. I don't have that gut wrenching feeling, like that fear. Like, he does not affect me at all. And that's how I know I've truly healed and let go.
Woo!
Yeah, good for you, Dedra. Wow. That was a lot. If you look back at the video when you said that he tried to kill you, my face is going to be like this. That was like a water in the face thing.
Yeah.
You went through that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you can talk about it. You can definitely tell that things are different. There is no fear there.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
It's a relief, and it is like a weight off your shoulders that, because I haven't thought about this. I haven't talked about him a lot. Like, I don't, and that's something, like, when you don't think about them, then you've let it go. But during times like this, when we help to inspire other women or men, whoever it may be, even children, because, the younger generations, the teens that are growing up, like, my daughters have been in abusive relationships. And when I'm trying to talk to them and inspire them, and I don't feel so tied to that feeling of going back to that place, I'm like, okay, this is wonderful. I don't want to. It's like you always question, did I heal from it? Have I really let it go? And is there still an attachment? But whenever you don't feel anything, that's your validation that it's over.
Yeah, and also as mothers or as people who love people who may have been affected by our decisions that we made back in the day when we were living in an unhealed place, it's not your responsibility for their healing either, right? You can go to them like my children, right? Like when I was living in my trauma, Katie's been there through all of it, but when I was living in my trauma and I was in turn causing trauma to my children, I'm aware of that situation. And in the beginning of my healing, in the beginning of my awakening, it was like, I'm so sorry, like apologizing and crying, you know, like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And now I'm at a point where I can't feel guilty about it anymore. And their healing is really, it's not my responsibility anymore because they're adults, right? They're adults and this is their journey. And they now have their own trauma that they have to recover from. But I have to release myself from that because I've done everything I can do, right? I love you. I'm so sorry. I'm here for you. I will do anything I can to support you, but this is your journey that you're going to have to go on. You know, I may have put these traumas inside of you. I may have been responsible for this, but it's your responsibility. Just like with my parents, the traumas they put on me, it's not their job to heal me. It's my job to heal myself. So we do have to remember when we're talking about our children that even though we may have caused trauma in their life because we were operating on our unhealed systems, it is not our responsibility to now heal our adult children. It's their path and it's their responsibility. And at some point, they're going to have to come face to face with, ugh, this sucks. This sucks. You know, I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to repeat these patterns anymore. I don't want to live in this fear anymore. I don't want to live in this animosity anymore. I have to release myself from my mom's traumas that she's put on me. And that's by healing and eventually releasing and forgiving her, you know?
Right.
That literally just turned all the way back around to the generational curses. It
Yeah.
was like a big circle that we went off of and then came right back around.
Yeah.
So,
That's how spirit works. It's beautiful. That is beautiful.
And honestly, these relationships that we've had can also be a part of our generational curse. So, I mean, everything that we're attracted to is obviously a lesson in some type of way.
yes.
So,
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I think we have one more question, and when I get done answering that, we'll have done an hour.
yes.
Was that so
Goes by
fast?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I think Katie's going to have to be a regular guest. We're going to have to figure out how to get her a camera because the conversation flows so beautifully between us three. I'm really feeling it. I love it so much.
Yeah, we definitely need to do this again, even like more often.
Yeah.
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 You
I
like
love
that?
it. I'm
Yeah.
glad you agree. We got to figure out how to get her beautiful face on camera, though.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
Okay, so we have one more viewer question.
Viewer question.
All right. Why does it take certain people longer to manifest than others?
Okay. So there's kind of two different answers to this, right? The first answer is your vibrational level. So let's say you're in a low vibrational, we're in a low place and we need money. So we're saying, I need money, bring me money, money is mine, but we're in this place of like desperation and lack. It's gonna take a long time for that manifestation to come because it's coming from a place of lack. We never, ever, ever should manifest in a place of lack. Okay, so when you're experiencing happy times and happy things, like you're in a really good mood, you're dancing around your house, you're lighting candles, you're cleaning, you're feeling great, that's the place you want to manifest from. So if you're dancing around your house and you're cleaning and you're having a wonderful time, speak out loud your manifestations. Talk them, speak it, send it out into the universe, right? And that manifestation is going to come a lot quicker than the one when we're operating from a place of desperation, because the universe does not respond to desperation. The universe respond. It's like how they're training us, right? There's certain energies placed on the earth by the creator that make the earth and the universe do certain things. So the universe does not respond to lack, period. Not gonna do it, right? So come from a place of higher dimensions. When you're in a really good mood, manifest the shit out of everything, right? But they're also like, I'm getting a message saying like, sometimes there's really shitty people who can manifest really good things. Think of all the billionaires out there, right?
Absolutely.
And they're saying the reason for that is because they have the wholehearted belief, right? They fully believe. They are so in love with themselves. They're so enamored with themselves. And they're so convinced that the universe is just going to give them whatever they want. They get it, right? You don't actually have to be necessarily in the fifth dimension to receive manifestations. You're manifesting all day, every day. So if these like multi-million-dollar dicks fully believe that the universe owes them $1 million because they're fully convinced of that, the universe is going to give them $1 million. That's how it works. So there's a couple different ways to manifest. I prefer manifesting from the high vibrational place. Like when I'm singing and dancing in my house, that's when I'm speaking all of my manifestations to come into play. But on the other level, you really have to believe it. You have to believe it. You have to know that what you're speaking is going to come to you. If you have a vision for something and you see yourself doing this one thing, like it's in your path. It's already on your path. All you have to do is now get to that vibrational level where that can enter into your life. So that's another thing when it comes to manifesting. Like if you have this dream to be this specific kind of person, do this very specific type of thing, that is destined for you, okay? Where did it come from? It just came into you. You really feel it. Like it's part of your path. Now all you have to do is get to the vibrational level where that just kind of wants to drop in your lap, you know? Right. And sometimes that's practicing things, doing certain things like you can't be a famous singer if you don't expose yourself to small crowds at some point, you know? So manifestations are also fueled by the power and the work that we're putting in. You got it. It's thought, feeling, and then action. We can't just let it flop into our lap. We have to create the circumstances for it to come into our energy level vibration.
Okay. That's a wonderful explanation.
I hope so.
Yeah, it was good.
I really feel like when it comes to manifestation, you have to really, really deep down inside, you feel like you deserve it.
Yes.
I think that's what you just have to believe it. Like everything I've ever read about it, and I manifest quite frequently, never in the amount of money that I want, but there's always something and you have to be grateful for it. But you have to like literally feel like, I tell myself, like one time my car needed to be fixed and I did not have $2,300 sitting in my bank account. And so I cried for a long time about it, probably half hour. And then I was like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And I did.
Dude, tell them that circumstance. There was a recall on your car and you got it fixed for free. Did you not?
Oh, that was a different time. But like I literally, my engine a year ago blew in my car. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm like, I can't even get to my job anymore. What is going to happen? And I was planning on quitting my job anyways because I hated it. So my car broke down. I gave my 2 weeks notice because I wasn't going to be able to get to work. I talked to a neighbor next door who was a mechanic, and he talked to somebody he knew that works for Ford, and he's like, well, you know, there's a recall on Kias for a rod knock in the engine. And I was like, okay, I don't even know anything about it. I took my car in, and a week before Christmas, they called me and said, by the way, you're getting a brand new engine for free. And now I have a forever engine in my Kia. But I literally was freaking out so badly. How am I going to afford this? I just kept saying, this is give me a new engine, give me a new engine, give me a new engine, like.
And it worked. It worked fast too. Like that was a quick manifestation. Now, again, we have to mention like that was in the beginning of your sort of embracing the spiritual side of things. So you were fueled by this like, you know, the magicness that happens in the beginning of a spiritual awakening, all the fun stuff that we get to experience. And obviously now we're in a different part of ascension where we're going through all the shit that doesn't serve us, right? Like in the beginning of ascension, we're like, wee, this feels so fun. And then all of a sudden it's like, ugh, I want to get off this ride because my life is totally taking a shit show. Right? But really what it is, it's just beautiful transformation. Like, no, you think it's a shit show because it's all you've ever known. But like, we're trying to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't serve you so you can get to where you really need to be. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, because like a month after that happened, after I manifest that, I went through like some type of dark night of the soul where I had like migraine. I had a horrible migraine for 2 days in a row. And when I get migraines, like I had to go to the hospital for it. Like, you know, I had to go to the doctor for it. And I was like, what? I'm dying. What's happening to me? And she kept sending me all this dark night of the soul things. And I'm like, I don't like this shit. I don't want to go through this. Like, this is not worth it to me.
No, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
But after that dark night of the soul, did you receive another, like, say, level up in your life and in your spirituality?
Yeah, well, I literally was like, well, I have to go back to work. My car's working now. I have to go back to work. I can't sit here anymore. I need to be able to pay my bills, you know. And I found a job like that. I'm still there. It's not really my
And
job.
you manifested that it would be a close job. And is it not like less than a half hour from your house? It's like 15 minutes or something?
It's like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I go through, I was driving down a state highway every day and I hated it. And now I drive through a beautiful stark rock that I see eagles all the time and all the little wildlife creatures that I love. So,
that's awesome.
And before that, before you had your job, were you hiking and doing all the beautiful exploring that you did? Or is it because of that job that you found that beautiful place and now you get to experience all of those beautiful moments?
Yes, it was because of that job. I started going out and hiking and taking my partner along with me.
And getting beautiful experiences with bison.
Yeah, that was the day of my Reiki attunement.
Yeah.
Where it charged, there's bison at this Buffalo Park, Dedra. And they usually pretend like you're not there and you don't exist. Like, we're just there. And I've never had anything acknowledge me, but the moment I walked up to their little enclosure, this one was like on me. They like wanted to be right next to me. I was like, do you see what's happening? Look at this. What's happening? And he's like, and I am like, at the end of we went and hiked and we came back and I wanted to say goodbye to them. And this thing charged the fence. And then, but it stopped right before it got to it. And I was like, what's happening? Oh my God. And he was like, what are you doing? And it's rubbing its head up and down the metal fence, you know. And I was like reaching out to touch it. And he like literally broke the spell. And he's like, Katie, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, it just wants to play with me. He's like, it just tried to kill you. And I'm like, no, it didn't. It stopped before it hit the
Okay,
fence.
so again, that is a vibrational difference. You had just been attuned in Reiki, and to you, it was spirit. It was spirit. It was 100% spirit showing me this beautiful experience. Yeah. But to your partner who is living in the third dimension, it was, stop it, it's trying to kill you. Yeah.
I didn't feel any fear whatsoever. I was just like seriously vibrating so much. My body was shaking and I was so excited. Ugh. I wish I would have touched it. Just saying that. I wish I would have been.
Girl, I know how you feel. When I was living in North Dakota, Theodore Roosevelt National Park, those bison walk up and down the road. They're like 2 feet from your car. Like I can drive next to them as they're walking, and I could say it's one of the big accomplishments of my life. I never once stuck my arm out to see if I could pet them and how beautiful and fluffy they were. Like, that's a big accomplishment, okay? Because I wanted to.
My arm would have been out there.
Yeah, I know.
Here we are. I'm touching you.
I could hear my dad the whole time in my head, do not pet the fluffy cows. He used to call me all the time, like, did you see a bison attacked another human in Yellowstone? And I'm like, yeah, but that's not my bison here. Like, that's Yellowstone bison. Mine are nice. They love me.
Those people must have had icky vibes. That's what
Yeah.
they were throwing out some weird things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you definitely don't throw a red cape in front of a bison.
No.
That's so funny.
Okay, well, we made it through our first podcast. Been an hour, 5 seconds, and 5 minutes and 33 seconds, by the way. So, we're going to close out today's show, and we're always accepting questions from viewers.
Yes.
If you have a question that you want to ask the other side, that you want to ask about ascension, that you want to ask about aliens or space or whatever, please comment or contact us somehow. We are always, always, always looking for content for the show. So,
Yes.
have a beautiful day. Enjoy whatever you got going on.
Thank you, guys. Bye.